Hey everyone. So in this video, I wanted to talk about the PDH acceptance criteria. So we're having the public hearing on the 7th of October, and one of the outcomes, I guess, after this public hearing is the DPP director is going to make this decision, whether to approve with modifications or deny the application. And based on this, this law here, right, the PDH housing like land use law. So I have it up here. Um, the first few bullets are just they're gonna do the application correctly, which we just assume that they know how to do an application. Um, the biggest to me point here is this D clause. So there needs to be an assurance that this proposal has quality and character that's compatible with surrounding land use and same beneficial effect on health, safety, and welfare of people in the area, as would any generally permitted use in the district. So, to me, the comparison here is on um, generally permitted use. So, kind of surrounding area, right, is R75 residential. So that would be kind of the generally permitted. That's kind of what it is. And the next thing would be the same beneficial effect on health, safety, welfare. To me, that's like the biggest kind of comparison that I think needs to be made. It's sort of dangerous to compare it against like a church or a school because that's kind of a conditional use in itself, right? It's not generally permitted use. So because zoning is R75, um, arguably, generally the permitted use would be a conforming R75 subdivision. Um, Okay, so just a brief comparison, to maybe what is generally in the area. So this is the site. I have it at this zoom level, and I kept the same zoom level. I'm going to kind of jump around different parts of Manoa. Um, this is slightly more in the valley. I'm kind of familiar with this area. I grew up very close to this section. I picked it because Manoa Stream is sort of abutting it, kind of similar to the proposed site. So, I mean, you could imagine an R75 subdivision would look kind of similar in scale. I'm at the same zoom level, so it's kind of in the center of this block, would be about the same um, area as the proposed site. So, um, I mean, in this picture, you could see, there's access roads up to city subdivision standards, and uh, you'd have maybe up to 50, I don't know, or so. It's going to be a lot less at R75, but that's sort of what might be considered generally permitted based R75, kind of Manoa, Upper Manoa. Um, I'm jumping a little bit further into the valley. This is the Manoa Estates. I believe it doesn't look conforming, so this could have been maybe an old PDH project. I think it's about maybe close, maybe 60 or maybe so houses up there, small town houses. So size-wise, this one might be somewhat similar to the proposal. I kind of wanted to highlight it because when I was growing up, I lived very close to this, and there was only one exit. So essentially, this road, Pinal Street, would be similar to what would happen, right, if all of the traffic gets funneled into um, one road. Okay, so the striking difference here, Pinal Street, even back then, this is a fully improved road. It's here's so I mean, it's a fully improved road, sidewalks on both sides. You could park cars and still, there's enough space. So, um, this is kind of very different. It's not a unimproved 20-foot road. This is a fully improved um, roadway that was there to service the driveway for Manoa Estates. So again, even if it was um, maybe a PDH type project in the past. Um, in this case, it was serviced by a much more improved road. Okay, so continuing conversation on this idea of the generally permitted use, kind of what is planned for this area. This is in their application. This is the PUCDP plan that's the current law of the land back from 2004. This is the map of the area. Shows the project location. It might be worth noting that it's technically marked institutional use, so for like campuses and schools. Because that's what it was for like 100 years. I don't know, whatever, many years. Zoning is R75, but planning purposes, it technically marked as institutional use. Surrounding area though is low density residential, shown in yellow. Um, So this is the old, I mean the current law, but we have this draft plan. So I'm going to jump to, this is the PUCDP similar map in the current draft plan that's trying to be passed very soon. Again, just to kind of match up the colors here, it's similar, um, the blue, but it's in an area that's marked for um, lower density residential. Okay, so I'm on the next page, speaking about this Valley Ridge neighborhood, which is sort of the surrounding area, and it's just house scale buildings with front yards, primarily car access, um, and it just says that unique topographical features make it generally unsuitable for additional growth. So these are some of the guidelines for the Valley Ridge type neighborhood. The first one, it's limit like bulk, and so I mean I think this is really targeted towards like monster homes, but this idea that you don't want overdevelopment, right? You don't want like too many, like too much building. Um, so I mean, increasing density has a similar effect, maybe. Not quite as maybe bad, but uh, you know. Um, And this idea of it being more open, right, light and air, they want to require these yards and setbacks that are sufficient. So, um, that would mean not making it really dense, right? But so they want it to be more spaced out. Um, and then the last one where you know you're going to embrace this natural context, right, of a ridge, or if you're near a stream, um, and you can accept some of the natural constraints. You might not maybe just regrade the entire thing and put retaining walls. You know what I mean? Um, and the last one would be to consider access to public, recreational areas. So, whether it be public access to a stream, a walking path, or something, for example. Okay, so this is the PUCDP or the drafts broad housing goals. Um, So this focus on transit accessible, planned growth areas. Um, this is the TOD and key focus areas for growth. Um, on this side, talk about affordable homes, but almost strictly speaking, income restricted homes. So actual affordable, of which um, this proposal is going to provide 8 units of all of the entire project. So the pros, I mean, pros meaning writing, they say it's going to be, for all incomes, okay? But I mean, it's market. It's a market offering for the most part. So um, it, 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 it only has a few affordable units. Um, and so I'll just jump down in here. Um, okay, so this is the um, housing development framework for the PUCDPR area. So you can see that this dashed area are the transit supported areas, which are kind of below UH. So in Manoa, Upper Manoa, it's it's not really. Let me jump back up. You can see what these colors mean. It's just a regular neighborhood plan use. So it's not considered a transit supportive development area. Okay, so the PUCDP has this idea of focus areas. So the entire primary urban center, very large area, and we are short on housing on this island. Everyone knows this, and so the PUCDP is being tasked to absorb, right, to provide a lot of this housing. And the way that this plan is built here, there's a number of key focus areas that are going to be revitalized, and provide infrastructure being added or provided um, to provide this housing um, that we need. So in some of the briefs Avalon gives, it's like, well, we're in the PUCDP, and if not here, then where? Well, I mean, look at this map. I mean, this is the plan the city has for the PUCDP East. So the primary urban center development plan for the east part, and you can see there's places, Kamaki, Moilili, Makiki. These are all focus areas, um, as far down to as Ala Moana and Kakako, right, where they're going to be planning improvements. So again, to kind of just to get a thing, the project is way up here. It's not in a focus area for the PUCDP plan.